Well, she's doing it. She's not. She's playing an Italian character, but I
Italian
think
via
she's
her natural German accent.
she's from the Netherlands as well. So
Yeah.
So this is where the film turns very much into Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
Yes.
Where David finds out the window his father hid a suitcase in the water, which contains his father's work looking for this treasure, and the treasure is some long lost treasure from medieval times. It is a real thing.
Is it? I meant to look into it to see if it was real.
I believe, according to the making of, at least, it was a real thing. So who knows? And so they've got some kind of lead on where it could be, based on this suitcase. And so they go and try. So as they're reading the diary, we get the most unexpected aspect of any shark film: a flashback to medieval times.
Yes, well, a whole it felt like we were suddenly in the opening of The Prince of Thieves or something. Like it was full on Crusade era swords, incredibly graphic.
Oh yeah, there's beheadings.
Look, a guy's foot gets lopped off. And we see it, and it's like they got someone on board to be like, oh yeah, can you come and do the historical flashback for us, please? And this guy was either fresh out of film school or hoping to use this on some sort of demo reel, because he went all out. He put his heart and soul, or whoever was in charge of the effects on this scene went full on. This is brilliant. This is the best scene of the movie.
Yeah, this is probably the most expensive scene. I would there's so many extras in it, so many horses, so much action, goes fire.
It's so good. Just that leg. I feel in my head it's dangling off as well. It's just so graphic and impressive. I'm a big fan.
Yeah, and it was just so unexpected. If you ask me what are you going to expect to see in this film called Shark in Venice, a long time before I get to, there's a bit where a couple of knights take this random peasant woman and hold her up against the wall. Okay.
Not what I expected.
There's horses running upstairs.
It's so good. Just the production value is just brilliant. What are they called? Medici.
Yes, that's the word. Medici. This is the treasure of the Medici is what they're after.
Medici.
And we find out later that what's his face? Emily's favourite character. Vito Clemenza. He's some kind of mafia boss who the three divers at the start, including David Frank's father, were trying to find the treasure for him. Mm-hmm. We'll get more into his plan and the utter insanity of it later on.
Were you high when you thought
Are you still high that you're still doing this plan? You're adding to this plan.
When was this ever going to be a good idea?
Why did no one stop you? We'll get that. So yes, they have the diary, they have the scrolls, they have the map, and they take out a little boat, and David goes diving with Pietro.
But not before he bam bam bam. They try and do a Jaws moment where he's looking this way, and they really do try and do a Jaws moment, I think, because the dorsal fin appears in the water behind them, but nobody's looking at it, which is very Jaws. And the music comes in as the dorsal fin appears, which is very Jaws as well. They wait, they don't give you something's gonna happen. They just go, something's happening, and it's scary. So they do that, and then 2 seconds later, it's they forgot that they did that, because then the Baldwin looks and sees the dorsal fin, and it does it again, and then he does a third take. We're doing a third take, and it's gone, which doesn't work as a double take, because now we've done this bit 3 times over. And also, how was it there? The fin is very small for the size of the shark that we're meant to believe is under the boats in this tiny canal. You couldn't, somebody put a shark in Venice, just to prove my point. You can't put a shark in Venice. It wouldn't work.
Let alone multiple.
All of my understanding of Venice comes from The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, but I just don't believe that you could put a shark in the canals. You could put bombs, but you can't put sharks.
Have you been to Venice?
I have been to Venice.
Okay.
Twice.
Yeah, all of your... Okay.
But I still would like to cite the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen 2004 as my main bit of knowledge.
Outstanding. I immediately want to say, wait, wasn't that 2003?
You might be right. I think I'm thinking Van Helsing 2004.
2003, yep.
Look at you!
I have seen this one, though. It's just because, it's like the film that made Sean Connery stop acting.
Yeah, and Alan Moore not want anything to do with his work adaptations anymore. And
stop the career of everyone in the cast.
Except Jason Fleming, I would argue.
It stunted it for a little while, but he's recovered since then.
Yeah.
I love Jason Fleming, so yeah.
I love everyone in that cast. Stuart Townsend, that should have been Aragon. Love him. Love it. It's so good. Petter Wilson.
I think Wilson's a terrific Aragon.
How many times have you seen The Booby Extraordinary Gentleman, just to get an idea of how much?
I have it on DVD at least 4 or 5 times.
Okay, good. Okay. I've seen it more like 24, 25, but that's fine.
I like it more than most. Because most people don't remember that film.
Yes.
That film doesn't exist anymore.
Unfair, because it has the gorgeous line, "The vampire lady has us covered."
It's a film that it got lost in development hell. It should be a lot better than it is. That's a topic for a whole other podcast. It could be so much better,
sorry to stay in the side note for a little bit longer, but I would love a sort of Netflix to do The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen and really take on the source material in a proper adult way. But then at the same time, when I think of some of the scenes from that graphic novel, I'm like, I do not want to see a live action version of that. Actually, the closest we get is have you ever read the graphic novel?
No.
They find the Invisible Man in a girl's dormitory.
Makes sense. Yep.
Doing.
I can guess.
I do not want to see that. I don't want to see that.
Yeah.
So yes,
Wait, was this written by a man?
It was written by Alan Moore, who wrote V for Vendetta and Watchmen and all of these other lovely, completely.
Give me a minute to be shocked.
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
Mina Harker is technically the leader, but she also suffers from trying to be sexually assaulted at least twice throughout the graphic novel. It's a real rough deal being a woman in these comic books. So yeah, another reason why it was nice that they gave it to Petter Wilson, who had the line, which I said, I was 16 when I was watching it, and I thought it was the coolest thing to be you're young and you're sweet. Neither are things I hold in high regard. I thought that was the sassiest put down in the world.
As a 16-year-old.
As a 16-year-old.
It's world weary. You've seen it all.
Literally, so I was talking to boys who were younger than me, but yeah, I used to dress like her as well with long scarves. Loved it, big fan. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. I think it's on Netflix. Van Helsing Entertainment. It's not a good one. It's not.
It should be. Good. So we really don't want to talk about this film. So David and Pietro go diving. Pietro is taken out quite graphically by a shark.
Yeah, I do like how they do the shark attacks. It's similar to the one at the beginning. They sort of do this the shark appears out of nowhere. How does that happen? Who knows? And then it's just sort of lots of red is released into the water, and you're just seeing the diver squirm around with sort of a lump behind it. And I think it's quite clever because it gives a good impression of a shark attack without having to fall back on a big old plasticine shark or the real discombobulated there's footage of a shark in completely different coloured water to where the actors
they make a point of saying the canals are polluted and murky and accidents happen. Cut to a shot of a shark in the clearest Bahamas water you can imagine.
So I do like the way they sort of try and do some of the attacks. It's effective if it does get a bit samey.
Yeah, they literally show the same footage several times. I think one of the kills in the opening is they reverse the footage. They play a little bit, and then they want to show the diver swimming backwards. They just reverse it, including bubbles going back into his mask. So they were. It's efficient filmmaking, is how I'm gonna try and spin it.
Not to be sniffed at.
They tried to make use of the budget they have. I don't know what the budget was for this. It's not listed.
I cannot imagine that it was much.
No, and it probably helps. We're supposed to be covering ice sharks this week.
Oh wow, that sounds great.
It's a film, and so I watched that yesterday, but then that show has been delayed for a couple of weeks scheduling. It's fine, and so I watched Ice Sharks immediately before this one. Ice Sharks is so worst made. It's an asylum film.
Oh wow. Love Asylum.
And so I was
doing God's work.
So watching Shark in Venice after that, I was like, well, this film's great.
Yeah, this is so good. Look, it's got actual actors.
It's in focus. So yeah, my comparison was all over the place.
Yeah, that's fair.
So Pietro is dead. David sees him in pieces, torn up, like less than half of him drifting around. And later scene, he asks, "Is Pietro okay?" Which was great.
He also reacts to that like he's like someone's just asked him, "Can you pop to the shops and grab some milk?" He's like, "Oh, there's Pietro's dead body."
He seems much more torn up about it later on. This guy who he met that day.
Yeah. But she, none of them are particularly torn up. Laura's using it as a point to be like, "See, I told you it was dangerous." And the police lady's like, "Oh
well.
Well, we better get some backup, I guess."
Need some more FBI guys, I guess. Yeah. So, searching in the tunnels, David finds his father's watch.
Yes.
He then finds the opening. Well, no, he gets attacked by a shark.
He gets bitten by a shark, which
injures him enough that he can't speak. He's like, "Oh, I'm injured. I can't talk to you over this."
He's literally talking to her non-stop. He's like, "You're gonna need to help me out. You're breaking up. I can't hear you." And then she's like, "Go left." And he's like, "I've been bitten. I can't talk." It's like, dude, make your mind up.
He also is wearing. He's using diving gear that you cannot talk with. Fine, it's a film. We gloss over that. It doesn't matter. So he gets
like the Avengers talk to each other in 2012.
he gets lost in the underwater maze of Venice, and he gets stuck at this grate, and then shark creeps up on him, attacks him, but he somehow survives.
Yeah, he manages to climb a rock, and the shark's like, "Oh, that's too much hard work," even though it will later go on to prove just how athletic it is. It's like, no, I don't want to be jumping up onto rocks after this Baldwin brother.
Well, that could be a different shark later, you never know.
That's true. It could be the lazy one, and all the athletic ones head to tourist area.
Yeah, the athletic ones have made it out of the tunnels. The lazy ones are just in the tunnels, just
That's true.
Swimming around.
I would also stay in the tunnel, to be fair.
Yeah, it's safe in the tunnels. Food comes to them.
So in theory, he has no idea where he is. But
no. So it's a real stroke of luck that it's exactly what he's looking for.
Exactly. Yeah. And that he now remembers how to get there forever.
Yeah. So he just finds this this shaft of light descending through a tunnel which has no natural light in it. No way for this light to be coming from. But it shines down, and it's the he climbs up through the rocky tunnel. It's like a vertical well, basically.
Yeah.
And which when he gets to the top of it, he climbed a long old way, given he'd just been attacked by a shark.
Yeah, considering he was one-armed at this point, we can assume, pulling his body weight that's also wet in a wetsuit.
And bleeding out, maybe.
Bleeding out.
But he's fine. He's
fine.
Completely uninjured. It's fine.
A-okay.
And whilst he's there, he finds the Medici treasure. It's all there. Wonderful.
All there.
And so he
nailed it.
He takes a little an emerald.
I thought the old lady dropped it into the ocean at the end.
So he takes a golden crusted emerald as proof, maybe, or just have it.
Yeah, or just I don't even know why you would do that.
I suppose proof is the only thing I can say. I found this, and to date it, make sure it's the right thing, perhaps, or.
Yeah. Oh, I guess if he's an archaeologist.
Yeah, he just wanted some treasure.
Yeah.
It belongs in a museum. I don't know. So much. Oh, and whilst he's down there, there's so many Indiana Jones vibes because there's traps. Which are terrible because they don't
really bad traps because he doesn't fall into a single one. He just sets them off and they completely avoid him. And you're like, who designed this? Like, this completely defeats the point.
There's a really dark tunnel, no traps in it, and then he accidentally steps